Hi, everybody. Welcome to Lighten Up with Sunny Wilkinson. I am Sunny Wilkinson, and I'm so excited to introduce you to my special guest today. Such a beautiful, raw, truthful talent. Plays guitar, singer-songwriter. She's a luthier. Yes, I'm telling you, she is a luthier. Percussionist, a teacher. She has been a presenter. So many tales to tell. Please welcome Jamie Marvin. Hi, Jamie.
How's it going, everybody?
Okay, I just have to adjust myself in the camera here a little bit. Yeah, there we go. I think we're all set.
All right.
Well, before we get started, I just want to welcome everybody to this new era that we're in, or expanding time. You know, hopefully, COVID will be something that we talk about as the year from hell and that we're starting to move out of it. um,
Yeah,
Congratulations to
exactly.
all of you who have gotten vaccinated. And Jamie, have you gotten yours yet?
No, I'm going tonight.
Really? Tonight?
Yep.
Do you know
Yeah.
which one you're getting?
I don't actually.
Okay.
So
So
it's gonna be a surprise.
I've had my second one, as it has my husband Ron. We went to two different locations. He got the Pfizer, and I got the Moderna.
I do not. Yeah.
And he got his he got his second dose on his birthday, which was for him very celebratory. He was kicking around with springtime in his boots. You know, he was happy, a happy man, I tell you. And then I got mine last Monday, and it kicked me to the curb. Boy, I got to tell you,
That was your second one?
the second one. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I
Yeah.
had a,
I'm afraid of that too, but
as my husband says, I took one for the country,
that's right. That's true.
for the team. It
That's
was a
right.
big one. I was not a happy camper for a couple
Yeah.
days there.
That's
So let's talk about, are you a Michigan native?
Yes.
Where were you born?
Metamora, Michigan.
Where's that?
Um, well, it's kind of in the thumb. It's not really in the thumb area. It's kind of like it's almost mid Michigan, but not really. It's only so I live in Columbiaville now, and it's only about 30 minutes away from me.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Hey, you know what I forgot to do? I'm sorry. I always like to start off with a quote. And I love your quote because I think um, there's a couple of things that I like. One is a quote from you, and that one is, no matter what I do in music, I will always perform with all of my heart and soul. So true. And then these are quotes from other people. When she plays, her music touches your soul. She feels every chord, every note, and so do you. I love that. That's beautiful. So true. And then there's one more that I really think is so, again, it's true about you. Jamie is, in a word, raw. What you see is what you get.
That's true.
It is, right?
Very much so. Yeah.
I love those. I love those. So, my dear, tell me a little bit about what COVID has been in your musical world and how you're coping and hopefully starting to come out of it.
Um. So it's been like I kind of would call it a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Um. Like there's parts of it I've really enjoyed. Um. I'm kind of a hermit anyway, so I kind of thrive as far as that goes, and being able to stay home and do a bunch of other things. So I've picked up a bunch of new things, which I didn't even think I had time to add into my life, but I have. Um,
Like what?
musically, so I've gotten back into more woodworking again, um, making sourdough, which I didn't know was a thing, which is kind of funny. I can go into that later. Um, we finally put in a garden. So I've been doing a lot of gardening. Just I don't know. It keeps adding on and adding on all my lists of things to do now, and I'm like, what am I doing to myself? But it's been wonderful. But the as far as like COVID affecting my music, really, it was quite depressing for me. Um, I still feel like I'm kind of in that a bit of a hole because now like I was literally just getting over my anxiety last year because I was still playing a bit up north because Mackinac Island didn't like officially close or anything. They were still playing up there, and so I was still gigging. Um, and and then the end of that hit, and then we were all kind of shut down, and I quit playing, and like I got really depressed. And then all my anxieties started coming back, and now they're like I feel like I'm starting completely over with my anxieties. I'm kind of terrified to restart, but soon.
I I feel number one, being older, I'm going to be 69 in July. So I feel like my place in the world is such a soft place. There's not really a lot of pressure on me anymore. I don't feel the pressures of my 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s. I've given that up gratefully. And the music that I make is just for the joy of creating with Ron or my band, and I can do it if I want to and I don't have to do it. But I just have so much compassion for you guys that have sort of just done a major cutoff, and now you're having to start all over again.
Right, full on too. It's not like we're just easing in. It's like, all right, let's hit
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I start back up in May
Okay.
because I wanted to make sure I had my vaccines before I started. Um, which has been also stressful because I'm like I didn't know if all the places were gonna have me back because I'm not going back as soon as everyone else. But I do have autoimmune diseases and stuff that I need to just be extra careful. So just do everyone needs to do what they need to do for themselves, I believe. So
Well, anything, the way you approach it or the way you approach the venues, will that change, do you think?
I don't think so. I mean, all of them have actually reached out to me, and
There you go.
I've been honest with them, and I just told them that I'm waiting until I get my vaccine. Like I said, I was very fortunate. My girlfriend helped me get into one earlier,
Yeah.
um, which I go today. So I start it, so I'll be good by May. So I'm super excited. Um, Now I just have to get my plane back up to speed and my um just my endurance and everything because I'm gonna be hitting it full on, 4-hour gigs and
Like, I can't even imagine doing a 4-hour gig now. In my youth, man, you would do two or three of those a day
right.
sometimes. It's like,
Oh
hey,
yeah,
big deal, right? Be a little,
absolutely.
you'd be a little tired the next day, but hey, now I think you'd have to like scrape me up the off the floor with a spoon.
Hopefully that's not me, but I'm a little worried. It might be the first few anyways but
Right.
get
Well,
back.
that's awesome. And has Mackinac Island opened back up for you?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm all booked for the year and as long as everything goes, hopefully keep improving, then we'll be good. So
So when you get back in shape, do you have a regimen or do you just sort of get in there and play?
Um, so I used to have a regimen. I've been dealing with some um, chronic like issues, neck, back, shoulder, arm stuff. And so it's been quite debilitating. So I've had to come kind of like completely start over. Um, my right arm. And this kind of happened after, like literally after I stopped last year. It started up. So I don't know if it's like a brain thing. Like I'm so anxious about it. Like I'm shutting down. Not really sure. But so I signed up for a personal trainer to get my strength back up. Um, and yeah, just been taking care of myself like crazy and working on my routine, like I normally would, but it's definitely been altered.
Yeah.
So,
So, Jamie, do me a favor because for the younger people coming up that have issues to deal with, but still want to be in music and still want to perform and still want to share their music and light and bounty, could you tell us a little bit about some of your autoimmune conditions and how you just have persevered through them? I mean, why are you wearing those glasses, by the way? Is it because you're super cool? You're cooler than me, dude?
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I wear my sunglasses all the time. No. So I have a hypersensitivity to light, and I think it honestly stems from my vitiligo, which is one of my autoimmune, which some people say is not an autoimmune, but I have autoimmune vitiligo. You can
What
also
is
get
that?
vitiligo is where you lose the pigment in your skin. Um, the most like famous person I know that had it was Michael Jackson,
Yeah.
and he chose to bleach his skin to try and make it more even.
Yeah.
I'm so white that a lot of people can't even tell I have it, and I'm almost all completely white now. So I've literally lost all my pigment. Um,
Do you have to be careful of being in the sun because of that?
extremely. So that's why like you'll see me, on a beautiful day just completely covered from head to toe in long sleeves, long pants, generally a hat. Um, even gloves now because I fry. So and sunscreen does not do it. So,
Does it just, you mean too much of the rays of the sun get in because of the sunscreen, or it's not powerful enough, or
yeah, it just doesn't. I literally like in 5 minutes I'll still be burned. It's just not good enough for my skin. Sorry, I don't know how to turn off those sounds.
don't worry about it.
Okay. Um, yeah, so I have vitiligo. That was what I started with that around 7 or 8. And then um, I started developing new stuff basically as I got older. Uh,
Yay.
yeah, it's fun and in and out of like different. They think you have this, they think you have that. When you have autoimmune diseases, it's kind of complicated, especially when you already have one and then you have multiple down the road. So the other one I have is Sjogren's, which affects your all of your secretion glands, which is why I normally sing with bubble gum in my mouth, well, gum.
Yeah.
And as most vocal teachers hate me for that, but I have to have it in order to get enough secretions for my throat and to keep me healthy. Um, I just kind of
And
put
no, I assume you're constantly drinking water, but no amount of water
yeah,
makes up for it.
that's correct.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's like it's not quite the same. It also affects my eyes
Hmm.
too. Your joints, all that good stuff. So it kind of sometimes like when it's bad, it will feel like there's sand in my eyes. Um, so I have that, and then I have rheumatoid arthritis. Um, recently diagnosed with that, and then osteo all through my spine, which isn't an autoimmune, but it's just
Jamie, I don't mean to laugh. I mean, I'm not laughing out of hilarity. That's like a tragic amount piled on you.
yeah, it's just like once you get one, it's kind of like well, and then you get another one, and then the other thing is they don't really know honestly, because Sjogren's can cause rheumatoid symptoms.
Yeah.
Um, you know what I mean? Like so, it's just you really don't know.
Sure, if you're not getting the moisture to your joints, that would feel like rheumatoid arthritis, right? So they're not
Correct.
sure. Yeah.
Although I've had blood tests that say that I have the
Okay.
rheumatoid, so you know, whatever. It's good. I'm good. So
And then I'm not going to belabor this because you just power through all this stuff and
I tried to. Yeah.
yeah, and you play beautiful music and you make what are you making guitars or do you make what do you make with your
I
luthier
did. I
skills?
did go to school for that.
Yeah.
School to build guitars. But I chose to go more the repair route for right now.
Hmm.
Um, which I got out of for a while because I was just so busy with other things. I really couldn't focus. And started just not doing a good enough job, really, because I was all over the place. Always my problem. But I'm back into that now. I built a shop over here when I moved in with my now husband. So I built.
Congratulations, by the way. That's
Thank you very
pretty
much.
fantastic.
Thank you.
You made a good choice.
Yes, yes, I did. I'm very thankful for him. Um, yeah, so I built a new shop over here, and then that's also why I've been getting back into woodworking and just loving it. So
Are you going to be back into, are you going to be repairing guitars? Are you going to be making some, or what do you think?
just right now, repairs.
Yeah.
I don't have a ton of room to like build, for all the jigs and whatnot you need. And I need some bigger tools, and I just don't have the room at this point. But
Yeah.
someday when I retire, it's kind of a thing like maybe I'd like to do again.
Hey, I want to make sure, my dear, that we play at least three of your tunes. So why don't we play The Thought of You off of your record?
Okay.
And while I'm putting this up, why don't you share a little bit about this tune?
Oh. Okay. So this song was actually my first co-write I ever did with a friend of mine that owned a restaurant down the road from me, small restaurant. And I found out he was a poet,
Wow.
and and he had beautiful stuff. So I was like, wow, this is really great. And he gave me something that he thought, maybe I could work with. So I took it and started messing around with it. Well, I ended up taking like his first two lines, and then I just like ran off with it in like a different direction, but not. Then I like added more of his lines back in. It was kind of interesting how it worked. So
Fantastic. Well, I always like to tell you, we're not going to play the whole thing, but we are going
yes,
to play a teaser. And you can find Jamie's music on Apple Music and also at her website, jamiemarvin.com. So this is The Thought of You. Love was true, the world was fine. You were the glue that kept me together. So I held on to my tether, and all of these memories won't leave my mind. Thought of you, my hand in yours. Thought of you, everything I'll ever do. Thought of you, when I close my eyes. Thought of you. Beautiful.
thank you.
Man, does that soothe the soul? Sometimes I forget how powerful it is. Even just a moment of listening to something like that. Just beautiful.
I'm always afraid I'm gonna start crying or something while listening to music in front of somebody. Oh crap! That really
Um,
hit me.
yeah, yeah. Speaking of which, in the jazz world, we just recently lost Chick Corea, right?
Mhm.
And I was surprised at how hard that hit both of us. My husband, Chick is one of his major influence. He
Right.
and Bill Evans, right? And for me, I just felt like I started growing up during that era of Return to Forever and Flora Purim and Airto Moriera, and just the revelation of that kind of music just sort of hit you so hard. And then living in LA for all those years, my formative years, and kind of going after that kind of music. And then Lyle Mays passed too, who was Pat Metheny's pianist and just a giant in music.
Right.
And their music is so impactful. And I kind of know that sometimes it's hard to, especially when you're modest, to think that maybe your music impacts people like that. But it does, right? It,
I think so.
yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Amazingly. Sometimes I don't think it does, but yeah, it does definitely.
I know it's because you're one of those Michigan girls that's self-effacing and like, oh, Shaw.
Is that a Michigan thing?
No, I don't know what it is. I think it might. I mean, I notice I have a little bit too much of that. I mean, for good reason now. I'm older, right? It's like,
Right.
um, but man, those girls in LA had no problem with shameless self promotion. Probably not a Michigan girl thing. It probably isn't.
Right. That's true.
Yeah. So when you were coming, oh, I got to tell you all, this girl, Miss Jamie Marvin, are you 6 foot tall? You're almost 6 foot tall.
Yes.
Yeah. So you
Like
could be
I
my
might have
daughter.
shrunk a hair though, actually. I think I'm slightly under now.
Yeah, me too, which is, I don't know why. I love being 6 foot tall.
Yeah, me too.
So when I get measured, I still like just stand up just that little
Like
extra bit.
yeah.
Yeah. And when you were coming up, you played baseball on the JV boys team, right?
That's correct, yes. Nope.
Ah,
I played baseball since I was 3 years old,
really?
with the boys all the way until high school, and then I blew out my arm. But yeah,
How did you blow your arm out?
just overuse. I was playing year round since basically I was almost 3 years old. I loved it, so I do all the camps. Like I do winter camps. I would do. I mean, I was crazy active. I mean, I played other sports too, but that was my main thing.
Was it a pitching arm or was it hitting?
Yeah, I just overuse, and obviously I'm prone to them,
Oh yeah.
with my tendons and stuff. So, yeah, I blew it out in volleyball the season before JV, and I still made the team and everything, but it just couldn't do it. And then I kind of got sick of politics, and then I turned into a complete hippie and took up music.
Good trade-off.
That's my short story to my high school. Yeah.
So you picked up the guitar in high school as sort of a backlash from getting injured in sports.
Drums, actually. Uh,
Oh,
Started
how
on
did you do that?
drums. Yeah, I was a percussionist in band. Um, and some of my friends were like, "Hey, you should get a drum set, like, and be in our band." So I'm like, "Yeah, that's a really cool idea." So I went and bought a drum set, and I was in a band already. So I learned really fast.
What do you mean
And
you were in a band already? You talking about the school band?
no, no, it was the kids that wanted me, like, "You should go buy a drum set."
Oh, okay. So you already
Okay.
had an in.
Yeah, I had an in
Yeah,
already. So I'm like, well,
yeah,
this makes sense. So yeah, I went and got a drum set, learned how to play, like, immediately. And we used to play, like, we did our own tunes, like, we wrote our own songs and stuff. But we would play, like, Fish and covers. And, like, I don't know if you know any of these guys, but Medeski, Martin, Wood covers. Um, like, we would just play obscure, kind of crazy covers that, like, people our age was not doing, but we were.
that's awesome.
Yeah, it
So,
was a lot of fun.
so the people you mentioned, because I'm sorry, I don't know who those people are they more like older, younger, alternative?
So Fish is like they're kind of along the lines of, I don't want to make anyone mad, but like Grateful Dead, kind of like a lot of Deadheads follow Fish,
Oh,
the
okay.
band Fish. It's a jam band.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
it's,
yeah.
it's a rock. Um, improv rock. Cool, a lot of cool stuff. Great guitar player, Trey Anastasio. Um,
Cool.
the yeah, really cool stuff. The drummer was wicked good, um, and so it was a good influence to have for sure. And then Medeski Martin Wood is actually a jazz group, but very out there, like jazz group, kind of funk, cool stuff. Like totally dig them.
I'll have to check both of that out.
Yeah, yeah. So they're interesting. You know, it's just interesting stuff. And then of course I played a lot of Dave Matthews because
Oh, sure.
I love the drummer in that group. So
Who's the drummer in Dave Matthews Band?
Carter Buford,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
yeah, tight drummer. Always dug his style.
So were you good? Were you a good drummer? I mean,
Yeah, I actually I that probably could have been. I was a good drummer, like very good. I wish I would have kept playing. I still play, don't get me wrong, like, but I don't play with anyone anymore. So, because I'm too busy normally playing my solo guitar stuff, that I don't play my drums anymore with people.
so being a drummer in your formative years has to have really big impact on your time as a guitarist and singer.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely. Um, I definitely developed some extra coordination from playing the drums. You know,
Right.
so yeah,
Your internal time clock too, right? It's like
yeah.
you know where the center of the time is.
Just naturally gravitate towards it, you know. So yeah, it was something I just naturally picked up. That's why the drums came really like well, even the drums came like natural to me. Just picked them up and started playing, rocking out.
You ever do like drum breaks on your guitar in between tunes?
Not too much.
Yes,
I mean, if I was sometimes I do, I guess, but not too much. I keep it pretty like cuz I'm playing bar shows.
yeah.
Um and I'm not like a flashy player by any means. I play what needs to be played. Um at home I do that stuff. I'm the closet like, you know, player over here.
Closet percussionist,
Yeah.
body percussionist.
All over myself, yeah.
Yeah, so cool. So on your record, did you do all the guitar work? Is that all you on the thought of you?
The majority of the guitar work is me. Yes. All the rhythm guitar. There were some leads. So I did that in 3 days down at Sweetwater.
Oh, you
Uh,
recorded it at Sweetwater.
yes.
Wow,
Very
it sounds beautiful. The guitar just shimmers.
yeah, thank you. They were awesome to work with. They gave me a smoking deal. We smoked it out in 3 days. And so it was fast. That was actually one of the most exhausting things I've ever done, I think. Like sitting there like playing all day long to that click track, you know, and just like locking in and like really focusing on that. But I also had to listen to the players because they were recording their parts while I was, you know, providing like basically the click track in a way. Not click track, but maybe a dump track, I guess you'd call it or
Oh,
something.
good. I was going to say, why did you guys record to a click track? So you didn't, you were just,
I had to
you were
lock
the
in it.
basic, right?
Yes.
Okay, I gotcha.
So, but I had to be listening to their parts, make sure their parts were what I wanted and at least close to what I wanted. They were amazing. I worked with some phenomenal musicians down there.
So were they from here? Were they your guys or were they from down? How did that work?
So Sweetwater hired him for me basically.
Oh,
So the drummer was Nick DiVergio, which he's a amazing drummer, like phenomenal.
hmm
And he actually used to be like Phil Collins' drummer. Um, he plays for some really sweet prog rock groups. Phenomenal. So he did the drums and he works at Sweetwater.
Oh,
Like he does
nice.
like all like the demo stuff,
Yeah, yeah.
videos, and you know all those things that he does. And they brought up the bass player from Nashville, and my mind is blank with what his name was. I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay. It happens.
And
Trust me.
then there was some like pads and keys, which were done right in house, with one of the guys that's in there that he also produced the album basically. So it was all done in house there, and yeah.
So I'm curious, how did that come about? The guy from Sweetwater ends up producing your record. Did he know your music from before, or how did you?
That was,
I
I remember this.
yeah.
So I went down there to just check out Sweetwater. I think I was like, I gotta go check out this place,
Yeah.
and I found out they had studios in there, and I'm like, wow, these things are gorgeous. These studios are just phenomenal. And then someone came around. They like took me on a tour and everything, and they're like, yeah, so you can come here and do your recording if you want, kind of a thing. And here's how it normally works. Well, they're like, well, send us a demo. Like, okay. So I put together a demo, just stuff I did in my basement, kind of a thing, and shot it over there of some of the songs like I did. And they're like, oh yeah, like let's do this. And so they're like, we can definitely do this in 3 days. We just think we can. I'm like, okay. So they hooked me up with like a phenomenal deal. Couldn't pass it up. And yeah. And then they actually had me play down there too for their Live at Lunch series they did.
Nice. I had no idea that they did that.
Yeah, really cool. Like Victor Wooten was playing there when I was recording my album.
Yeah.
He was doing the Live at Lunch, and he was also recording an album in studio, like B or something, I think.
Have you read his book?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, of course I have.
Phenomenal, right?
Yeah, I love that book. Yeah. Yeah, phenomenal basis. I
I'm
love
read
that guy.
it right now. It's Teachings, the Music Teacher, or something like that.
The music teacher you're reading?
Yeah, what's the name of the book the Victor Wooten book?
Um,
Called The Music Teacher?
I don't think that's what it's called.
Okay.
Um,
I would pop up and get it, but I can't because I'm the
yeah,
host.
I know. Mine's upstairs, so that I would run up there and Great book, highly recommend. I think
Yeah,
it's his only book he ever wrote.
yeah.
As
I think
far as,
somebody told me he's writing another one.
yeah, I
But
love it. Highly recommend it to any people listening that are musicians.
yeah, very inspiring.
Yes.
So, would you go down there and do another one?
So it's funny. So I've actually decided. I think my next one I'm just gonna do maybe here myself.
Yeah,
So those guys were phenomenal. Like, but it wasn't what I wanted.
yeah,
It was rushed, and I'm very proud of it. I I'm thankful that I was able to even get that done and out. Um, but I would like it to be more of what I want the next time, and I feel like that was not at all like what I was envisioning at all. So I think I want to try it in house. I'm not very good with
perfect.
the electrical side, like the computers and stuff, but they actually said my demo was one of the best demos they've ever heard. Like,
Oh,
and so I was like, well, maybe I'll give it a go.
why not? Uh, this is a little different, and well, with the advent of COVID and all of the gigs being and concerts being canceled, Ronnie and I did a couple of virtual concerts, and just like we were talking before, we started off on the phone, the iPhone, and then we tried Zoom, and Zoom's sound was just terrible. The
Right.
phone, just going right to your phone was better, right?
Right.
And then we spent this beautiful man at Sweetwater, he must have spent 3 hours with us trying to get our sound together. We finally had it through the mixer, right?
Right.
And then we had this fundraiser for the Lansing Symphony. We were going to do the musical vignettes in between. And we got our setup turned on, and there was this hideous giant hum that was just
Oh.
god awful. Hi, puppy.
Yeah, there's a little puppy down here.
Oh, not so little. Hi, big guy.
No, he's my old guy.
Oh, what a
Sorry to interrupt.
face. And and then we were just stymied and frustrated and upset. And so this last project that we have a concert that we have to submit to the University of Toledo for their John Hendricks memorial concert, right?
Yeah.
And we thought, okay, we've got to up the ante. So bless our friends and our musical community. A student of mine lent me a beautiful condenser mic. Terry Lauer in Battle Creek lent us one of his mixers, and so we could put a little reverb, we could separate the sound. No longer is the piano distorting like crazy or my voice peaking, and like it's not a recording studio sound, but it's so much better that we had fun.
Oh yeah.
And we kind of relaxed and got a little looser in our house. And are the takes perfect? No, 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 they're not perfect, but they have a nice feel because we're relaxed and we're not
Right.
freaking out about the horrible sound.
It's so true.
Yeah,
That's part of like the anxiety is like, does this sound? You don't even know sometimes how it sounds.
right.
You're thinking like, well, it must sound okay, and then you listen back and like, oh God, that was horrible. Or
Yeah, or and it's not loud enough, or there's a
right.
and that psychoacoustic thing when there's a hum is like shoving nails underneath your nails. It's just awful.
Yes,
So,
that's cool.
well, and Ron is down there with iMovie, sort of putting it all together, and it's been a really good project for us. So I bet you figure out how to record in your own place and relax, and you can play with it and do exactly what you want. I'm excited to hear that.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking because I do have such bad anxiety. I thought it might be a little bit more easier to actually get what I want out of myself if
Yeah,
I did it in my own home, my own comforts, you know?
yeah. Be
So,
Glenn Gould,
yeah,
right?
the closet musician. Yeah, yeah,
Lots of
basically.
people would just record under his very extreme specifications, and then he was genius. Well,
Yeah.
he was a crazy genius.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to make sure that I play at least three of your tunes.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I thought I really enjoyed that song, "Distant Dreams."
Okay.
Could we play that one?
Yeah, you can play that one.
Tell us about that.
Oh, well,
Not too personal.
yeah, some songs like I rather just like, well, just listen to the song and take your own take
Right.
on it.
We're all queued up here. We're
Yeah.
just going to let you find your own interpretation.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. This is Distant Dreams.
And you're holding me so tight, but I long to be closer to you. What can we do when these feelings are so true? How can this be wrong when everything's better with you? Dream of dancing on the riverbanks with you. We keep our distance and we try to hide our feelings, but it's so hard to do. What could we say to her if you had to walk away? Isn't this wrong to even think that way?
Beautiful, my dear. I love that cry that you have in your voice.
It's just my natural cry.
Yeah, beautiful. So beautiful.
Thank you.
So if you want to hear more of Jamie's music, go to Jaime Marvin. It's Jaime Marvin.com, right?
Yes. And I'm on
Check
all
that.
the Spotify and all those things too.
Oh yeah, Spotify and
You name it, iTunes, whatever.
iTunes. Yeah, is iTunes still a thing?
Yeah.
I mean, the
Well, Apple Music, I'm sorry.
Apple Music, that's right. That's what it is now.
Yeah. I
That's
get
what.
stuck in my old ways and I forget that they've updated their names.
So, will you tell us, you owned a music store and a music venue for a
Hmm.
while. Could you share with us about that?
Yeah. So, I worked at a music store um, since, well, high school. Basically, when I took up the drums, I got right into music, like I said, and I ended up working for the music store when I was, I think, 16. It's my first official job. And worked for him forever. And then I ended up, he offered the place to me to buy. So I ended up buying it. I
How
changed the
old were
name.
you?
Um, I don't know.
Oh,
I was
young.
probably, I think like 23 maybe.
Wow.
I think it was around 23 at the time. Um, don't quote me on that, but I think it was around that. So yeah, so I decided I'm gonna buy it, which was hard to get a loan to buy a music store when you're that age. You don't have a ton of credit. But I pulled it off, and
Amazing.
yeah, so I bought the store and turned it into. I mean, we kind of had some stuff going on. Like there was a cafe in there, but it was actually ran by someone else. Um, and then he went out of business. And the person that owned the store before, they kind of had something going on with like the cafe, but not really. And then I actually had my brother come in and help me get the cafe really going, like an actual cafe. He's been in the restaurant business all of his life. So he helped get me running on that. And yeah, so we had the cafe, the music store, we did lessons, we did repairs, we had live music, we had like a school rock program, which was before the school rock movie ever came out. We had like all that stuff going on. And then we did, in the music store too. So we did sales as well. And it was awesome. I miss it so bad. I still have people like come up to me to this day like, "Man, we miss your store so much." And I'm like, "I know." And
Where was the store?
it was downtown Lapeer. It was called
In
River Street.
Lapeer. Okay.
Yeah, it was called River Street Music and Cafe. And yeah, it was a blast. I mean, I think I might have overdid it on taking too many things on at once for myself. So I ended up
Yeah,
with,
you think?
yeah, it's kind of the thing I do. So I ended up with like a bunch of health issues from all the stress, obviously. And, but yeah, I miss it so bad.
And how long did you run the store and own the store?
I had it for, I think, only 3 years. And then not to be down or anything, but my dad got ill.
Mhm.
And that's when I chose to close it.
Yeah. Did you sell it?
I actually tried to. I wanted to even have my friend John, that managed the place for me. I was kind of hoping either he would take it over for a while or whatever we could work out. Um, we couldn't find anyone to run that cafe basically, so
Yeah.
I just decided to close it. And John couldn't really run the whole place by himself, so I just decided to close it at the time. Um, so I didn't have that to worry about on top of my dad. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And did you do I assume you did a lot of teaching. Did you teach percussion and guitar and voice, that sort of
Yes.
thing?
Yes, I taught percussion and guitar, drum set, um, percussion and guitar. And then we had, I think, like 20 some teachers Um,
Really?
yes, we were very busy, very busy studio. Yeah, and a few of the guys that taught for me actually opened up like little places downtown. Then they do music lessons out of now, actually. So it's kind of cool. So
That kind of reminds me of what Susan O'Rourke and Zig have going, right? And
yeah,
because the old is it the I'm sorry, my brain just blanked. The Old Crow Conservatory.
yes,
What's it called?
yeah,
You
the Old
know,
Crow
yeah, I
Conservatory. Yeah, I believe that's
don't
it.
want to get it wrong. Which is so fantastic to have a hub like that in the community where they can come and hear live music, they can come and study live music, and musicians can gather. What a nice center of community there.
Yeah, it worked awesome together. Everything like ebbed and
Yeah.
flowed. Like the cafe would bring in new people for us. It kept the parents busy and gave them something to do. You know, they could have a cup of coffee while they're waiting for their kids to be done with their lessons. Um,
Yeah.
it was just really cool. And then all the the live music we had, that was really growing. By the time right around the time I was closing it, people really really enjoyed it because there's nothing around really Lapeer, um, especially that's not a bar that you could go and hear and listen to music. And it was a listening room, so everyone was quiet, and it was cool.
So would you think of doing something like that again?
I think of it all the time.
Do you?
I do. I think of it all the time, but I just have so much going on, and like I feel like after I lost my dad, it was time to do my music thing, like full on. Because I was doing music too, so yeah, I was killing myself. I'd be working all day, and then I go play the bar gig, and I get maybe 4 hours sleep in, if that, and then get up and do it again, every day, and um, it's just too much, and I tend to take on too much. Like it's just something I do.
Oh, this reminds me. This reminds me of a great story because I think we all do, right?
Yeah.
Especially when we're at a young age, we think that women that we can run the household, we can cook all the meals, we can develop a vocal jazz program at Michigan State, we can have a full-time singing career, and we can raise a kid. No problem.
No problem.
And and of course, as you get older, you are either like you get ill or you're slowly disabused of that notion because it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Nobody can do that. And
I keep
it,
trying.
yeah, I know. I gave it up. I gave it up. But so my husband Ron and I were doing a concert, like a house concert for my brother in Massachusetts. And all of his friends were there, and these are the hippest people, right? Like, and everybody had had a little bit too much wine, so they would drink, we'd play, they'd drink some more, we'd play some more. At the end of the concert, this gal came up to me and she goes, I'm not going to say the expletive delete, but she went, "Oh, blank, Gloria Steinem." And I went, "Excuse me?" She said, "Whoa, Gloria Steinem." I said, "Well, why?" And she said, "Because she said you can do it all and you can't." And your dog is me.
Hold on one second.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I'll keep talking to you guys. So what I took from that is very important for me in my life. And I tell my students this too. I said, yes, you can do it all. You just can't do it all at the same time.
Right.
Because that's crazy making. You can't do it all at the same time and do it well. You can't. It's impossible.
Exactly.
Right? It's just impossible.
Exactly. And I'm slowly learning that.
Yeah. You got time, baby girl. You got time.
I just keep, I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever learn it really, but
Truthfully, I like this better. I like concentrating on one thing at a time and then putting that to bed and concentrating. I really do. I like it better. We've done this music project, and now I'll probably go downstairs and work on some pottery, but I just can't seem to do them all at the same time anymore.
Right. I think it's healthier to not do them all at the same time.
Yeah, I just don't have the mental, physical energy anymore.
Right. I hear you.
Yeah. And the other thing is, I mean, there's no point. It's like I don't have that much to prove anymore. It's
No, it's
one of the joys of being older, honestly. It's like this is it. This is what you get.
see, and like I think I'm getting to that point, but it's I love everything so like I love doing things so much. Like, you know, I just enjoy everything. Like I love like this bread baking thing that I started. Like I just love it. The other day I made 6 loaves of bread, all sourdough loaves in a day, and like I love it, and I love woodworking. I love working with my hands. I love art. I love my music. I love like it's just like my love is too great.
I love that. That's great.
So I'm finding though like I'm just learning to like um roll with the ebbs and flows. All right, so today I'm baking. It's okay. I'm not gonna, and I'll pick up my guitar still every day. Like that's still something I do every day. But I may not get my workout in, you know, and I'm gonna have to be okay with that.
Yeah. Yep.
Tomorrow I'll get a good workout in, and then and like so I've had to take kind of like I don't know. I'm learning slowly, slow learner I guess over here.
Aren't we all? Aren't we all, Mama? That's been the hardest thing for me getting older is that to listen and pay attention to my new unique biorhythms as an older woman, right? I can't just go full steam all the time from 8 in the morning till 1 at night. I can't do that.
Right.
And I just listen, and when I want to sit down and rest and take a little bit of time for myself, I do. And I think that's progress for me.
No, I'm right there with you. Like
Mhm.
I know I'm young for that, but my mom has always said like I'm that um like an old person in a young lady's body. Like
Old soul.
I'm an old soul, but I have kind of the old body too. So I mean, I might look good, but I've learned that I have to take time for myself. That's been one of the number one things. Like I had to slow down a little bit. So now I make sure I read every day. I actually sit in a massage chair and sit there and do my morning pages. I write every day, journal, and then I read, and I make sure I get that in every day because it's just like a calm, like chill out, Jamie. Like
Great. Is that from the Artist's Way? The
yes,
Daily Pages?
yep.
Did you do the program?
Oh yeah, I love that book.
I did
Yes,
too.
artist dates are my favorite.
Tell the people what the artist date is.
The artist date.
Hmm.
So basically, you want to at least once a week. I believe it is. That's what I do. You do something that I think that makes your soul happy. That's what I do. So it could be as simple as going for a hike in a different area, um, taking a different route home from work, if that's what you do. I like to go sometimes to the bookstore, and I love the bookstore, especially in these days because I don't see anybody. So I'm kind of around people, but I'm not around people.
Yeah.
It's my socially distanced thing to do. Um, yeah, and you just go and explore something different. Like push yourself out of your normal boundaries is kind of like how I take it.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
So that's what I like to try and do. So,
And, and you still do your daily artist pages. I'm so impressed.
yep.
I have to admit I stopped doing that.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of do my own thing.
Mm,
You're supposed to just write whatever flows out of your brain. It's not highly creative most of the time. Like it's literally just I do write down whatever flows on my brain, and a lot of times it's about my day before or like how I'm feeling, if I'm really angry at something or but it's good. It's you just get out your thoughts, and then they're not on your mind so much, or it lets you get over something faster. I
yes.
find They're healthy.
Cathartic too, healthy, right? You're processing.
Exactly.
Wow,
Exactly. Or you're trying to figure things out. So, yeah.
fantastic. Well, my dear, I am going to play another tune of yours.
Oh, yeah. We got one more.
Yeah, yeah, I'm good. I am getting good at just keeping my word here. So
I wish
I'm,
I had some new ones to send you, but I don't know how to send my new ones.
it's all right. This is Wake Up. Here we go. Wake up.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up to happiness, wake up to love, wake up, wake up, wake up to a bright smiling face, wake up with no regrets, it's time to be gone, time for me to say goodbye. There's no more reasons for me to hold on to this life I'm living. And in such darkness, 'cause I'm a little bit scared of what might happen next. So wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up to happiness, wake up. Wake up to love. So wake up, wake up, wake up to a bright smiling face. Wake up with no regrets.
Yay! That is a very cheerful song.
Yes, it is.
I, I love that. That's so great. Hey, you know what I love about what they do with you? The band stays out of your way. You know, you can
Right.
tell they're session thoughtful players. They're not adding a lot of stuff in there. It's there's space around you.
Right. And I prefer that. So they nailed it. They were really awesome guys.
Yeah, they did a great job.
And so helpful too, because I've never done it before, and so they were really kind and awesome.
That's so good. So, Miss Jamie Marvin, let's tell these people when you're coming out of COVID and where they can see you live next. Can we do that? I mean, this is the first time this year that I've been able to do that. So I'm kind of
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah,
Yay!
so
Big dang deal.
yeah, it's awesome. I'm excited. I'm extremely nervous, but very excited. So May is when I'm starting back up. Um, and all my stuff is on my website as far as all of where I'm playing. All my gigs are posted up there. Well, the majority of them are posted. Um, I think I'm starting. I think I'm at Homegrown Brewery in Lake Orion, Oxford. Oops, I think it's Oxford. Homegrown Brewery in Oxford, actually. Sorry about that. Um, I think I'm actually doing every Friday almost in May. Sorry.
Fantastic.
And then
That's
I have a ton of gigs, but they're on my website.
yeah,
I can't remember
on
them
the
all.
website for sure. And I
Yes.
do want to tell you that I will not be visiting you in a bar in May yet,
Oh, I know.
but soon.
Right. All is good.
All is good. So before we say goodbye to you, lovely lady, I just want to let you all know out there that in 2 weeks, on March 29th, my special guests are going to be Walter White, jazz trumpet player extraordinaire, beautiful writer, player, and Danelle Snyder, who is, one of those rare multi-instrumentalists, reeds, Barry, alto, all the reeds. So that's going to be a really fun day. And I also wanted to thank Smoke and Sled Dog Records. Yay!
Woo!
And Jamie Sue Seal and Susan O'Rourke, I know you're watching over us today. Thank you so much for all of your help. And Jamie, thank you so much for being with us today. It's been a joy,
Well,
really.
thank you very much for having me.
You're
Yeah.
more than welcome. And here's to making live music in the
Yes.
very, very near future. All right, everyone, be well. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Thank you so much for being with us. Mwah. Bye-bye.